Hello again. This is Norma Santiago, member of the El Dorado County Board of Supervisors, with our third in a series of events and programs with the El Dorado County Chamber of Commerce. And today in our studio we have Kathleen Dodge, who is our El Dorado County Film Commissioner. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you. Thanks for having me.
This is really exciting for me because you know how I love movies so much. But let's get to the nuts and bolts of this.
Okay.
So what is the main focus of the Film Commissioner?
Well, the bottom line is we are an economic development arm for El Dorado County. So reaching out and trying to bring as much revenue as we can in through motion pictures, television, commercials. Now it's new media is very exciting, and still photography as well.
So, I mean, where do we start here in terms of what are the possibilities for El Dorado County? I mean, what have we done? I mean, you have this wonderful thing called El Dorado Lake Tahoe Film Site Guide. Tell us about that.
Okay, well, so we've done a lot, and the site guide actually is proof of that. I have it right here, and I love it. It was a dream, and feel very happy that the Board of Supervisors gave us funding to do this. So basically, it's a guide of motion pictures that were shot in El Dorado County. It's not all the motion pictures that were shot in El Dorado County, but it's quite a few of them. And the special thing about this is these are all locations that the public can go to. So they're not private locations. There might be one or two that are private that agreed to be in the guide so that you can actually do a self-guided tour through El Dorado County of these different movie locations. And people are surprised that Indiana Jones, The Horse Whisperer, City of Angels, Smoking Aces, Almost Famous, and Memoirs of a Geisha are just a few of the films that were shot here. So then it lists 30 films, and then you open up and see this great map, and it gives you little bits of trivia. So it's a fun thing to do with your family, or if you have people visiting from out of the area. And honestly, they just did a little article in this in the San Francisco Tribune, and we've been getting responses. People come, they get the guide, and they like to go and see where things were filmed.
Another way to promote tourism in El Dorado County.
You know, there's big crossover with film and tourism, and we've learned that, you know, with projects like Field of Dreams, how the tourism to that area just went crazy after the movie occurred. And so, yeah, it's just a nice little thing, something fun. People love movies, you know. I love movies, you love movies. And the movie industry loves El Dorado County. And
so what is it about El Dorado County that attracts movie producers, directors, writers, or whatever? What is it about El Dorado County that attracts the film industry?
Well, first of all, it's, you know, just like real estate, location, location, location. And you're going to love this. Tahoe is definitely a big draw, but not the only draw. I would say that the main thing that and this is interesting in a year of drought, the main thing that has attracted filmmakers to El Dorado County is water. Our rivers, our lakes, that's very dynamic. And so they've come for those locations. When I think of a lot of the films, they've come because of some water attribute we have. And, you know, we work a lot with EID. They've been fabulous as far as supporting filmmaking. And of course, Lake Tahoe, Smoking Aces. I mean, so water is one of the things that attracts them, the great locations. And then right after that is the fact that El Dorado County has supported a film office for 20 years that is solely dedicated to making sure that these clients come in, they can work smoothly, they can get what they need done, and they can do it as economically as possible. So knowing that they have that support makes clients want to come back.
So let's talk about your day.
Okay.
Because it's just really interesting. I mean, I'm assuming that it's a day full of contacts, building relationships, that kind of thing.
Each day is different. and in my world, I'm so grateful. I just have to say that. It's been an honor to be in this position for 20 years. It's wonderful working with the Chamber of Commerce. I'm just really grateful to be able to do this for El Dorado County because I love what I do. But every day is different. And so some days the demands come in and people are asking me for things, and that's a great day because I can just respond. And then some days you're thinking, man, no one's asking me for anything, and I have to go out and find it, pursue, start calling people. How are you doing? It is built on relationships, and that's nice because we have built some excellent relationships over the years. So every day's different. This morning before I came here, I'm working with the Discovery Channel, and they're trying to permit some caves and canyons for a television show. And every year is different too, because over 20 years, technology has changed so dramatically, and it has changed the clientele. Technology and also incentives within different states and countries. So we get different types of projects, and we have to adapt and make sure that we're going for the clients that are coming. Right now, we're doing a lot of work in TV and reality, and that's good because there's a lot of cross-promotion. Not only are we seeing the business coming in, where they come in, they shoot, they spend, but then when these shows run on TV, they keep saying, we're in El Dorado County, we're in the National Forest, and that's nice because that's a promotion that we're not paying for. But there's one other thing I have to talk about, is we have this commercial running right now, and I was watching TV the other day, and it's prime time, and it's the Dr. Pepper 10 commercial, and again, a waterway that's shot on the American River right off of Highway 50 on private property. And that Dr. Pepper 10 commercial has had over 1 million hits on YouTube, still running prime time. I believe it ran during the Super Bowl, and it's the Manliest Man commercial. So I'm very proud of that. So we do a lot of commercial work too.
And that's really interesting that when we're talking about the Film Commission, it's just not, you mentioned it earlier, it's just not films. It's TV shows, it's commercials, it's photography. So how is it that you promote El Dorado County to the industry?
Well, first of all, we go to shows. We go to show, and it keeps changing. So it's like you say that, and a few years ago it would have been a little different. We go to shows, but I also belong to an organization called Film Liaisons in California statewide, and another association called Affiliation of Film Commissioners International. And these organizations have events, and I take every opportunity to participate in them to the best of my ability. Some of them are very costly and in different countries, and I usually don't participate in those, but I look for every opportunity to maximize my outreach. But then one of the biggest things that I can do is do client calls, actually meeting with clients and letting them know about El Dorado County. There are commercial clients in the Santa Monica area and also in Soho in New York. And those are very big commercial clients. Commercials can spend as much as a movie in a day when they're filming. So commercials can spend $1 million. So there's a lot of spending, and of course we're looking for the revenue that we can bring to the community, but not just revenue, also promotion, and also I quote Matt Sugarman, who was ran Marshall Gold many years ago and has passed away, God rest his soul, but he said we are building our cultural history. So I look at it as a big package, is how is it affecting us? And now I love to see the emerging filmmakers. We've had some young talent out of El Dorado County develop, and they developed because they were able to have experiences right here in our community. So because I am able to focus just on this, we can look at it as a big picture. How can the community benefit? Businesses, homes, locations, talent. And so we're looking at everything, but of course, we need to bring in the money because we are an economic development arm.
So let's talk a little bit about that, because you mentioned earlier about you know, it's just not bringing them here, but having the support system for the thing.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, in one of our one of our tours, economic development missions, we went to Santa Fe, and we went to a studio, and we went and saw that, and how Santa Fe is now becoming kind of a hub for filmmaking. So is that something that we as a county need to look at in terms of, once we get a film here, making sure we have the supporting infrastructure in place so that filmmakers can continue the production here?
Well, we've done a good job of that so far. What we don't have is a studio, but we do have the resources, and that's why we have, for instance, every spring, along with the Chamber of Commerce's business showcase, we have a film industry mixer. And we just had that. It was very successful. And that's an opportunity for the community to get involved. So my office keeps those resources, continues to collect those resources. Anyone in the community who would like to participate can go onto our website at filmtahoe.com and go into the community site and see how they can register their home, register as talent, register their business or service for vendors. But what you're talking about is building a further infrastructure of studios, and we would love to do that. And there has been discussion of doing it. And I think that the county has been supportive. We just need to find the right package, because it doesn't make sense to put something in that doesn't work. But that would be a dream of mine. It's been something that we've always had in our business plan, is to create a film incubator in this county.
And building on that, as you mentioned earlier, our local talent. And I went to that mixer, the I Love Film mixer, and I thought it was amazing. And when Dion Taylor had his, he was a keynote speaker, I don't need to tell you this, but when you had everyone in the audience introduce themselves, and it was amazing the number of directors, writers, actors that are local talent here. Could you elaborate a little bit about how extensive that local talent is?
It's deeper than we even think, because a lot of them are working and can't make the mixer. But we can support the projects. The trick is, right now we're competing with other states that have more significant incentives than California offers. And so holding projects here so that people can work is very difficult. And those big movies that are leaving the state of California because they're not getting the incentive employ a lot of people. So the big movies, like when you look at this, and you look at the big movies that, like Indiana Jones, or let's go to Memoirs of a Geisha, their crew was 200 plus every day. So they're hiring a lot of people. So that's why we need the tax incentives in the state of California, is to employ everyone. But yes, we have people creating their own television shows now. And that's the exciting thing, that the world is changing. So yes, we aren't getting as many of the big films in the state of California because they're going elsewhere to get incentives at this point. But now, because of technology, things are being sold. We have a local company that, there was a discussion, and I won't mention their name, but they're selling 6-minute segments for $30,000. Okay? Because technology is new. We're doing things on our iPad. We're doing them on our phone. And so we can create those. And we have a local television actually web series that's very popular for teenagers that's right here in Sacramento called Smosh. So a lot of things in the region that are very exciting. Also, I'm trying to think of all those makeover shows. Big Table Media is right in Sacramento. And so, yes, we have a lot of talent in the area and would love to create a kind of a hub for them in one of our industrial areas. And that's something we're hoping to do.
And what's really interesting is the popularity of YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
and how that is also becoming a place for an aspiring filmmaker to create something and then, of significance. And it might be just a 5-minute little shot, but how well it's developed and created could, inspire someone to hire them for making a commercial or that kind of thing. So I can appreciate the fact that the growing technology and the changes and the involvement, and now I can do video on my iPhone and I can do this and that. It's a pretty interesting time.
It really is. I will be on a panel at the Sacramento International Film Festival for the California Film Foundation, and it's digital technology. And I'm always surprised because I listen to people come in, and they'll come in from Sony, and they're seeing 16-year-old kids because they might be doing something new technology-wise, and they want to know about it, So yes, it's a whole new world. And when I'm working with people, they come up with ideas, and sometimes I think, wow, this is different, but it's the film industry, anything's possible. And with this technology now, you just have to kind of support it and kind of look forward, because it's going to be very, very different. Like I said, 6-minute segments might end up being something real popular. It's like you're driving, home from work, and right before you do, you look at your iPhone and you hear a 6-minute cooking segment on what to make for dinner tonight. I mean, who knows?
Well, even the how to do stuff,
Yes.
People talking about the crafts or how to make this or how to do that, all on YouTube. And, you can really, I even see, like news programming and actually being on the internet, more and more of that happening as people are less relying on paper or even listening to the radio, that people actually have news broadcasts that happen on the internet. And so, it's a very interesting dynamic that's happening in the industry.
That would be, so if we had a studio, that's one of the things, live streaming video is going to be one of the things that you're talking about that's very popular. And there will be funding for good projects. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to keep doing the things we have been doing, but make sure that we're there on the cutting edge with this new media and supporting, the young people in our community that are trying to move forward that way.
And I just thought of something else. Think about the popularity of House of Cards. That is just a Netflix series. It's not even HBO. It's Netflix that's putting that together. There's just amazing possibilities.
Netflix, when you say that's just Netflix, yeah, Netflix isn't just Netflix.
Yeah.
Netflix is taking over the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you can see why they're doing.
But it's the change. That's the change. And
there, with that change comes opportunity. And so I'm thinking that when we're talking about the film industry in El Dorado County, that there's all these niches of possibilities.
Yes, and now I want to mention Doug Stanley. So we all have heard about Todd Stanley and The Deadliest Catch, and Doug is his brother who also worked on The Deadliest Catch, and now he has a new series running called Hell and High Water, which is about guide school. So got to check that out because it's right here, like on the South Fork of the American River in El Dorado County, and it's just great stuff is happening.
Yes. So we only have a few minutes here.
Okay.
Quickly tell us, how are you funded?
Funded, basically funded through the Chamber of Commerce, who is funded through El Dorado County.
Great. And what would you say to aspiring filmmakers in El Dorado County?
Wow, the same thing Dion Taylor said. Find your heart and go for it. If I can help you, I would like to. That's what I'm here for. I always encourage people, and that's the thing. You said, how deep are we? There are people in El Dorado County that are doing things that are just like, yeah, I'm just doing it, and they're not even connecting yet. So if you are doing this and you're not connecting, connect. My services are free. So, people are always surprised when they call my office. It's like, are you going to be charging me? It's like, no, my services are free. How can I help you do what you need to do?
And
how can I connect you?
And how do they connect you?
They just give me a call at 530-626-4400.
Okay.
And, let me know
Great
what's
things
going
can
on.
happen.
Great things will happen.
Yeah, there we go.
They are happening.
Yes. So our time is running out here. Thank you, Kathleen,
Norma,
for being
thank you.
here.
Thanks for the opportunity.
And thank you for joining us here at Hometown Happenings. It was great being a host on these 3 episodes of all the great things that are happening in El Dorado County.